It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports, Pete.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at a stop. I thought I was fine, and then once I got home, I realized it's a lot worse than I thought. I ended up having a ruptured disc. You say you're not hurting, and then an hour later, you're saying you're in all this pain. I just felt like most people would think that I was lying. And that's when I decided to call Daniel Stark. I owe a lot to Daniel Stark. They really got me what I deserved.
The difference is stark.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
Tervis is all about staying hydrated with style and durability. You can trust Tervis tumblers to keep your drinks the perfect temperature, hot or cold, for hours. From the classic insulated tumblers to sleek stainless steel water bottles, each product is built to last and comes in endless designs to match your personality. Stay refreshed and express yourself with Tervis. Visit tervis.com today and find your perfect tumbler.
Since our founding, we've been revolutionizing hair removal with cutting-edge technology and a commitment to empowerment. The You-Like Air 3, launched in 2023, ushers in a new era of sapphire ice cooling technology, offering nearly painless hair reduction in just 3 weeks. Experience the future of hair removal today at youlike.com, because at YouLike, beauty is about looking and feeling good. That's ULIKE.com. YouLike. With Ease US, make studio-quality voiceovers for your videos online in over 149 languages and dialects, featuring 468 natural AI voices. Customize the volume, mood, and pauses to perfectly match your content. Plus, capture high-quality videos with no watermark. Record your screen, webcam, and voice, and save them instantly to your computer. Never been easier to create professional-grade videos and voiceovers. Try it today at easeus.com. That's EASEUS.com. Ease US.
Just use AMP-Pace.
AMP-Pace.
It is the Pete Sousa Show, and we are live. We're live in the kitchen today. Mom is just off because this is a better way to do it. Mom's making coffee right now. She's asking why we're doing it this way. I'm telling you, it looks better. Yesterday, we did it from outside in what I'd like to consider the gondola, and it just didn't look very good. I looked washed out, and I need all the help I can get. You are washed out. Mom, it's enough. So we're presented by Slovagics, who we'd like to thank very much for making this show possible. Coming up on our 1-year anniversary of working with Slovagics and Ray and all the good people out there. And, right after Slovagics came Socorro Family Ford, then came Crawford Austin Properties. And then we've added some new folks to the fray. Daniel Stark Injury Lawyers, the list goes on. So thank you to all our sponsors. And we love the fact that they're involved with us. Yeah, let's start with some good news because I don't know the Cowboys fans are going to like most all of the news. Chris Paul, congratulations to you. Coming back to play your 21st year of NBA basketball, signed a deal with the Clippers. This dude, by the way, played all 82 games last year. All 82, right? At 33 years of age. That's beyond remarkable in a day when everybody's kind of putting themselves on ice, right, with the load management and whatnot. So very impressed with Chris Paul and the fact that he's coming back. Some really good news. 9 days away from preseason football. 9 days, dude. Yeah, it's going to be the Lions and the Chargers. The Lions are a favorite. How many points? I think it's 4 or 3. Yeah, but that's the Hall of Fame game in Canton. And right now, well, Jerry Jones is in the Hall of Fame. I was trying to think of a clever segue there. But Jerry Jones is in the Hall of Fame, I think, as of 2016, and rightfully so. But as we know, it has been 30 years since the Dallas Cowboys even went to a conference championship game. Mom, what are you doing? Just do whatever you need to do. All right? We're rocking and rolling over here, Mom. There's nothing you can do to throw me off. She's making her coffee. 30 years since they've been to an NFC title game. Now, there's a story I love to talk about that's just a quick reminder. I was doing a basketball game for ESPN out in Tempe, an Arizona State game. And I did a bunch of games out there. And I was always like, Pat Tillman was a heroic figure to me. We're right around the same age, and everything that he did, so patriotic and so brave. And I always loved Pat Tillman, especially because of the way he played football. So I wanted to see the Pat Tillman statue in Sun Devil Stadium. So I go to Sun Devil Stadium, and I go down there, and I get on the field. And you're looking around now. The stadium has witnessed some improvements, but it's still a college stadium. And I get over there by the Pat Tillman statue, and I take a picture, and I'm very reverent. It's like I'm kind of getting like chills. And Mom, does that have to make that much noise? What is that? Jeez. I mean, what is? Anyways, okay. So I'm in the stadium, right? And it occurs to me, I know, yeah, bear the truth. We'll get there. It occurs to me that this stadium, Sun Devil Stadium, a college stadium, is the last place the Cowboys won a Super Bowl. Like, they don't play Super Bowls in college stadiums, right? They play them in like 100,000 seat shopping malls and just the most beautiful venues on planet Earth. They don't play them in, no offense, rinky-dink spots like Sun Devil Stadium. And that is a reflection of how far we are from the success that Jerry Jones and the Cowboys staff, they like to romanticize about. And there was a little bit of that yesterday, right? Jerry Jones in his opening press conference from Oxnard, California, all knee slapping, a lot of shits and giggles. Everybody's having a good time. I see it now. Guys, and I apologize to Cowboys fans all over the country. The frustration has just got to be mind-numbing because I was looking, November, season 2 of Landman begins, right? Great show, right? Great show, which Jerry Jones made a wonderful cameo appearance in. But I swear to God, it's like fiction in Oxnard yesterday. Like, it might as well be Landman season 30 without a trip to the NFC Championship. And I again, there is a frustration watching this press conference yesterday that winning is not as important to the owner of the Dallas Cowboys franchise as it is to the fans of the Dallas Cowboys. And why? What's the number one example of that? Well, the fact that the 82-year-old general manager and owner of the Cowboys is the general manager and owner of the Cowboys. How many years? 36 years Jerry Jones has been the general manager of the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I did a little extra work here this morning because I'm fascinated about the fact that he's still the GM. And I really wanted to take a look and say, you know what? How big of an issue is this, right? Like, let's look around the league. Let's get some context. So there are 7 general managers right now in the NFL that have been in their role for 10 years or more, okay? Here are the top 2. Jerry Jones, we mentioned, 36 years as general manager of the Cowboys. Then Mike Brown, the owner of the Bengals, right? 34 years as general manager of the Bengals. He took over in 1991. Not a one. Neither of those 2 guys have a Super Bowl in the last 10 years. And we know the story, right? The Cowboys don't have one in more than 30. Let's go down the rest of the list, okay? The third longest tenured general manager, Mickey Loomis, with the Saints. Super Bowl, check, okay? John Schneider with Seattle since 2010. Super Bowl, check. Howie Roseman with the Philadelphia Eagles, 15 years in on his job. Started in 2010. Super Bowl appearance, Super Bowl win, check. Les Snead with the Rams since 2012. Super Bowl, check. James Licht with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Super Bowl, check. All of those general managers have achieved the summit in professional football over the past 10 years, let alone the last 30. Okay. And you see, Jerry Jones was asked yesterday, and I want to get into some of the notes and the highlights of this opening press conference. And then Scotty's got some points he wants to make. Oh boy, he wants to make them. He's like that tag team wrestler standing outside the ring, waiting to get tagged in, and you're just stomping back and forth. They're so mad. So we'll get to him in a second, but there's so much that was talked about yesterday, so much drama, so much non-football stuff when you're getting ready for the football season. Now, number one, of course, we talked to Cowboys insider Matt Mosley yesterday. You knew that Micah Parsons would be an issue and something that would come up, right? And Jerry couldn't get out of his own way. Asked about the Micah Parsons deal. First of all, he immediately harkened back. He threw Dak Prescott under the bus and Micah Parsons. And he said, just because you said, I wrote it down here. What was the quote? Just because you sign them doesn't mean you have them. Yeah, that's it. And then he went on to say that Micah Parsons missed 6 games last year. That's not true. He only missed 4, but I get that. People screw up. He also called him Michael Parson. But again, 82-year-old man. I'm in my late 40s, mid 40s, let's say. I forget names and butcher them all the time, and it's my job. So, but it is kind of like Michael Parson. No, it's Micah Parsons, and he's probably your best player. So he said, Micah missed 6 games last year. Remember, that was just 4. And Dak missed 1/3 of the season. So even though if we sign these guys, like, we don't know that they're going to be available. And then he went and he said, because people were asking him why he's waiting. He said, do you think we should have waited on Trayvon and Terrence, right? Terrence Steele, I think, and Trayvon Diggs, who is like, that situation is a mess right now. Trayvon Diggs has been docked $500,000. That's a de-escalator on his contract because he didn't spend the required amount of time rehabbing at the Cowboys facility. And it seems like more and more, like he signed a 9-figure extension in 2023. At the end of this year, I guess, next offseason, it's very possible the Cowboys will just get rid of him and save actually $15 million by doing that. But and Jerry, here's when we hop in the time machine now. Jerry talked about Trayvon Diggs not being around the facility, and he said, hey, Dion didn't like to get in the weight room, but I told him, I said, hey, it's important that you're around. And Dion understood. That was kind of like a what? And I got to say this too. I've gone on record, not that like me going on record is like going to, shatter the earth, but like, I love Jerry Jones. I love what he's done for football. I find him to be a total character. He's a shrewd businessman. He's an amazing, amazing dude who's obviously accomplished so much in his life. And through hard work and shrewd business deals. Like, he's made bad decisions. We all have. But I really respect the guy. We're talking football now. This is football. Like, Jerry Jones is very smart, but we're talking football stupidity. And right now, I got him at like a 10 on a 1 to 10 scale, because he just doesn't seem to get it. He seems very unaware, right? Like, then that moment when he compared, I think it's Terrence Steele and Trayvon Diggs, right? And there was even another one, Jalen Smith, right? That's another bad contract, like, that was thrown in there. Like, and so he's saying, I don't feel comfortable about, signing Micah, or I'm thinking about it because these types of things can happen. It's like, dude, that's the dumbest shit you could say, because it would almost be like if George Young, the general manager of the Giants, and Bill Parcells were huddling up to do a renegotiation with Lawrence Taylor in the late 80s. And they said, well, hey, we re-signed Lionel Emmanuel, and he only had 40 catches last year. Like, I don't know. It's like, those aren't fair comparisons, dude. You're talking about the best pass rusher, probably outside of Watt right now that's active, in the National Football League, right? Dak Prescott, look, we could debate this, but like, you had to give him the money. So don't compare those guys to a couple dudes whose contracts haven't worked out. That's not common sense. That people can't relate to that. Like, you're not doing yourself any favors, right? And then we go to the Parsons thing back again when TJ Watt is retweeting. Scotty, let's throw that up there. This is TJ Watt's tweet. I'm sorry. And this goes back to what we mentioned about Michael Parsons and Dak Prescott missing time last year, and being big high money free agents and just high money players. Here's JJ's tweet. Anytime you can publicly take a dig at your star quarterback and your star pass rusher simultaneously right before the season begins, you just got to take it. Nothing makes guys want to fight for you more than hearing how upset you are they got hurt while fighting for you. Like, that's the truth. And then Micah, of course, because he's slick and I love him, retweeted that with nothing. There you go. Michael Parsons reposted, So it was another, like, I pull for the Cowboys. I pull for Jerry Jones because I live in the DFW area, right? And it's also, the NFL is better when the Cowboys are good. And you're talking to an Eagles fan. Scotty and I are going to jump into the logistics of the NFC East in our next segment. But I'm not done with Jerry Jones yet. Another thing that he mentioned and spoke about was that he doesn't talk to agents, right? Like, Jerry does not do agents. And he didn't speak with Dak's agent at all last year when that huge deal was in the works. You think maybe if he did, it could have expedited the situation a little bit. Maybe if he was a little more committed, and he didn't turn it over to Steven and this guy, Adam Paleska. I'm sorry if I got his name wrong. He's like their capologist, who apparently was like in the restaurant industry before this. He's like one of Jerry's guys, like a West Texas dude, whatever, a guy that Jerry trusts. Like, that's life, that's business. But like, if I own a business and I put Scotty in charge of something, and my business doesn't do well, an entire nation of fans don't give a shit, right? This is different. And this is where I get frustrated with owners that don't, I don't want to say Jerry doesn't take winning seriously, because he obviously does, but he's not willing to make the sacrifices personally to put his team in the best position to win. A sacrifice would be, hey, I got to step back, right? Clearly, this team would operate better if there was another general manager, right? And it wasn't me. But he won't make that sacrifice. So he's kind of sticking it up the ass of the Cowboys fans. These teams are public trusts, right? Like we say, like, they're, it is, you should be very grateful if you own an NFL organization. And I know you fight and you claw and you scrap to get it, but these are organizations and outlets who can completely change the face, the vibe, and the mood of your entire geographic region, right? So it's important and it's understood that you do everything you can to make that happen. And if a personal sacrifice is part of that recipe, then God damn it, make the sacrifice. But we're too busy knee slapping talking about Landman yesterday. And I'm not saying it's not cool to have fun and to laugh, but it's also like kind of shitty to act arrogant and better than. It's frustrating. And then let me see if there's anything else I wanted. Oh yeah, just a couple other notes. Cavante Turpin, he got arrested for marijuana and some weapon stuff. He, of course, has been in trouble before, but looks like he'll just face maybe some internal stuff from the Cowboys. That kind of remains to be seen. And I'm trying to think. Oh, the one last note I made was one more just like theoretical note. While Jerry Jones is waiting around, kicking these big money contracts down the road, he's doing it at the detriment or to the detriment of his team and their depth. And that's a shame, man, because so often we see with the Cowboys that you have these star players who people come to see, star players who end up on the billboards, right? On the commercials. But like, who do you have that's doing the dirty work? And sometimes these contracts negotiations and their length and the time that the Cowboys organization can waste on them, I think that really hurts the rest of the team and the team's depth. A positive, right? Let's end with a positive. Phil Maffa, the kid from Clemson, apparently is kicking ass. Practice is in session now in Oxnard, right? But like Mosley and I talked about yesterday, Jaden Blue, he responded yesterday and just gave like an laughing my ass off why people would waste time writing a BS article, which is like good for him. He said something, whatever. Again, like all that stuff, we'll find out on the field. But my overwhelming theme and what I came away with after watching that conference yesterday was that if I was a Cowboys fan, I just wouldn't feel important. Like I wouldn't feel like the owner of the team cared about how winning affected me. And at some point, it almost gets like, it's almost like bullyish, like, I don't care. This is my team. I'll do what I want. Like you're kind of saying to the fans, like, screw you. I'm rich. And I'm not saying that that's the kind of guy that Jerry Jones is, but that's the vibe you can get watching some of these press conferences. Now, look, prior to last year, the Cowboys had 3 seasons where they won 12 or more games in the regular season. And they did a good job in the offseason adding to the offensive line. I'll be interested to see what happens defensively this year. But like, we're about to have another segment where I'll tell you where I think the Cowboys are going to finish in the NFC East, and it's higher than you think. But that thing yesterday left a bad taste in my mouth. Scotty Swingler, I'd love to know, what is it savory, the taste in your mouth? Is it sour? Is it hot? Like, how are you feeling after that press conference yesterday in Oxnard?
It's just another July in the Dallas Cowboys fandom, Pete. It sounds like you're just now getting acquainted to what it's like to be me for the past 32 years. This is nothing abnormal, by the way. Welcome to the frustration we have been feeling for decades, good sir.
Well, what are give me your takeaways. I know, obviously we stay in touch and we communicated. Like, what has got you the most pissed?
Well, I'm going to go to 2 things, and one of them is a direct disagreement I have with you. But let me start with an area where, they might both be disagreements, actually, based on what you said in your monologue there. 1, I do not want to hear a lecture about contract negotiations from the guy who gave the biggest contract in the NFL to the 16th best quarterback in the NFL, according to PFF. I don't want to hear it. And I disagree with what you said earlier. You did not have to pay him that. You should not have paid him that. We should not currently be paying him that. But I've done that rant on this show many times before. Here's the rant, if you'll give me 3 minutes.
Oh, go, please. Take all the time you need.
This is the rant I have not done on this show before. Pete, I want to play a game with you. Are you ready? The game is guess the player based on quotes from Stephen and Jerry Jones. Here I go. Jerry emotionally saying he has never complained, he has never wavered, he never misses a workout, and he's never quit. He is admired by his teammates, the fans, and the staff. He is a great example of what happens with hard work. Stephen, in lockstep with his father, saying this is a life-changing contract that will change his family's life for generations, including how it would help with his mom's retirement. Jerry caps it off with, this is a wise allocation of our resources, even if there's, quote, less pie left. Stephen adding, we've got enough pie, but he's the priority. It sounds like they're locking in a franchise cornerstone. Who was that player, Pete?
Dak Prescott.
Jalen Smith. And this story is wild. So if you have forgotten, Cowboys fans, let's rewind to 2016. Smith is a Notre Dame stud, a butt-kiss award winner, a projected top 10 pick. And the Cowboys gamble on him in the second round because he missed his whole rookie season due to a Fiesta Bowl injury. But in 2018, 121 tackles, 4 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and a 69-yard fumble return touchdown. In 2019, even better, 142 tackles, 2.5 sacks, 9 passes defended, an interception, a Pro Bowl, and number 61 on the NFL Network's top 100 NFL players. Scouts call him a top 5 linebacker in the league at that point, and he was on a $6.5 million rookie contract, a straight-up steal. So, in 2019, this is not ancient history, folks. He signs a 5-year, $64 million contract, $35.5 million guaranteed. And I'm just going to tell you, Pete, I know what you said a second ago, but at the time, as a Cowboys fan, that contract felt like a no-brainer.
Okay.
So Jerry and Steven's presser is all heart. They just love him so much. The media is hyping his comeback. Fans like me are dreaming of Super Bowls with Jalen Smith leading the defense. In 2020, despite some physical cracks beginning to show, he still manages 145 tackles. But the defense struggles. So in 2021, Dan Quinn comes in. The Cowboys drafted a player named Micah Parsons. And after 4 games with 18 tackles on October 5th, 2021, Jalen Smith is cut. 2 years after cornerstone talk. What just happened? Mike McCarthy says it's a big picture move. It cost the Cowboys a ton of money. The media called it a failed experiment. And bro, it was just 6 years ago he signed that contract. And 4 years ago he was cut. A Pro Bowler, hyped to the moon, gone in a flash, and his career never recovered. And as an aside, Pete, this is personal for me. Because do you know what I never buy, Pete, Sousa?
Cowboy jerseys.
Cowboy jerseys. Never. Yeah. I had 2 prior to 2019. I had a Tony Romo jersey that I wore for a very long time. I might have even still worn it around you at some point.
Yeah, I think the Romo jersey you can wear forever, but go ahead.
And I had a Marion Barber jersey. May he rest in peace.
Oh, yeah. You could actually wear that one forever.
So in 2019, Pete, when the Cowboys signed this massive deal with a star linebacker, do you know what I did? I bought the Jalen Smith jersey.
Yeah.
And a year later, that jersey was useless to me. So
the Cowboys are the organization. It's funny you mention that because I've tried to get like for Christy, right? Like we're going to a Cowboys game. What jersey can I get her? I'm always like, Christy, just get like a Tony Dorsett jersey or a Roger Staubach or a Troy Aikman jersey.
Yeah.
Like, don't mess with anybody that's active because
agreed.
Here one day, gone the next.
Well, so that's you stole the next line out of my mouth. Here one day, gone the next. So here's what I agree with you that Micah Parsons is better than Jalen Smith. But at the time, Jalen Smith was damn good.
Yes, he was. Yes.
And so Jerry Jones is clearly dealing with some serious PTSD over how much money he paid Jalen Smith only to cut him a year and 4 games later. And I don't think it's fair to Micah Parsons, but I agree with you. It's just another example of why this guy needs to move out of the front office role and into strictly an ownership role. Of course, Exhibit A being, why are we still paying Dak Prescott the most money in the NFL? But I digress. Thank you for letting me go on my Jalen Smith rant.
Of course.
But I haven't seen anybody talking a lot about this. The parallels. I think there's a ton of parallels between Micah Parsons and Jalen Smith here.
I heard Calvin Smith. Is it Calvin Smith or Calvin Hill? Calvin Smith, the writer.
Calvin.
Yeah. He referenced that this morning. I was listening to a Cowboys podcast, like the DLLS, which they do a great job. It was the guy Kavanaugh and Jesse Holley, and they had Calvin Hill on, and he brought that up and was just like, he talked about the same thing you're talking about. Like are you thinking of
Calvin Watkins? Calvin Hill was a player, I think.
Yeah, Calvin Watkins.
Calvin Watkins.
Yeah. And so it's you're probably accurate, because he felt the same way, that a lot of this stuff with Jerry is like is PTSD. It's stuff he can't get over.
Well, and he can't make up his mind, dude. Like, he wants to go back and forth between giving Ezekiel Elliott a new contract, giving Dak a super friendly contract, giving, back in the day, it was Des Bryant. He really gave some friendly contracts. He wants to be like family with these guys. But then every now and again, he does what he does. Well, we don't even know if we're going to have him. Well, he might get hurt. Well, maybe he's like Trayvon Diggs and he's not worth it. And I'm like, dude, like, as a Cowboys fan, I'm like, pay this man. This is easily the best player on this roster. Like, who else is this good at football on the Cowboys roster? Maybe CeeDee Lamb at peak. Maybe, but probably not. Like, this is clearly the best football player on your team.
Well, and
that doesn't mean he's irreplaceable. Like, everybody's replaceable. You can go get another good pass rusher. You can draft a good linebacker, whatever. But, like, if we're not going to pay Micah Parsons, but we're going to pay Dak Prescott, and we're going to give Ezekiel Elliott a contract last year, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, what are we actually doing?
Like, dude, and this is how I wrap it up, right? Like, love Jerry Jones, what he's done for the NFL, right? But there's one thing that everybody can agree on, whether it's the person who's working on your car at Jiffy Lube or getting your lunch together at Jason's Deli, dude. Like, they all agree, just like, let's say, Mike Florio does, or Phil Simms, right? Some of the brighter minds that cover football. Everyone agrees that he shouldn't be the GM. Like, everybody.
Everyone.
The guy at 7-Eleven and the guy writing for Sports Illustrated. Like,
correct.
It's just like, it's time, man. And if you care about your fans, you should step aside. And you could still have say so. I mean, like, you don't. I don't know, man. The whole. It's my team. It's tired. It's over. It's selfish. It's not a righteous thing to do. And I'm not saying that businessmen always need to be righteous, but like, he hasn't flirted with losing any money with this team for a very long time, and good for him. But if there's one issue they've had, it's winning in big situations. And he's got to turn the rate, or he's got to pass the mic, but I don't think he will. I mean, Jim Rome said it yesterday, like, the only way, he calls him Jared. Jim Rome I love, but he's like, yeah, Stephen Jones will take over when the crypt keeper takes a dirt nap. I'm like, all right, that's a little much, but I get the point.
But he can take a lesson in this, Pete, from his own city. There's a reason Donnie Nelson was working in the front office for the Dallas Mavs when Mark Cuban was the primary owner. And it was to help with all these personnel decisions. Cuban was still in all of those conversations. Cuban was the best way to probably say is like the de facto GM of that team. But Donnie Nelson was making basketball decisions, not Mark Cuban. Jerry Jones could very easily do the same thing. Bring in a guy like, I think of a John Lynch in his role right now with the 49ers. Bring in a football person to make the football decisions. And Jerry can step in with some of the money stuff. Like, I don't think any of us think that's crazy, but it should be a football person in that room, which we all agree. Like you said, the guy at 7-Eleven agrees. Jerry Jones is not. Get a football person in that room to make that decision with you, and maybe even to make the final decision with you having some monetary input, but he's too prideful to do that.
Scotty, I didn't know you were going to bring so much to this discussion, but man, I'm a better man for it.
I got you, Pete. Let's talk NFC East.
All right, the Pete Sousa Show. We're coming back. We're going to talk to you about the NFC East. I'm about to do an about face on my Cowboys assessment here. Again, we were talking about Jerry Jones. We weren't talking about the team. I believe the team can surprise some people, and I'll tell you exactly how right after this break. Pete Sousa Show presented by Slovacics.
Did you know nearly all stock price changes of 10% or more result from a single news headline? These news catalysts create trading opportunities every day. All you need is a little help to reach out and take them. It doesn't matter if your investment budget is small or big. All you need is Benzinga Pro and its powerful news alerts, price tracking, and portfolio monitoring. Subscribe now, and we'll skyrocket your portfolio today.
OsleyMD.com. I've always had thin hair my whole life. It breaks off at a certain length. In the last 6 months, I've noticed it just really bad. I mean, you could totally see it. I wear a hat a lot. I tried several different products. My experience with the Bosley MD hair regrowth kit was amazing. It was easy to use. It let me take off my hat. I could go in public and have my picture taken and feel normal again. OsleyMD.com.
Golf Partner, the world's largest golf store network, offers more purchasing opportunities than anywhere else. With a dominant market share and a wider selection of quality secondhand golf clubs than our competitors, we make it easy for you to enjoy the game with affordable, top-quality equipment. Join us at golfpartnerusa.com and discover why we're the trusted choice for golf lovers worldwide. That's GOLFPARTNERUSA.com. Golf Partner.
Since 2003, Bluehost has been empowering people to harness their brands online with innovative web hosting solutions. Trusted by over 2 million users, we're the longest-running WordPress.org recommended host. With Bluehost, you get a safer, better web experience, supported by the world's most popular site builder, and backed by our commitment to open source projects. Visit Bluehost.com today and take your website to the next level.
Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internex. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. Enjoy seamless, fast storage without compromising security. Visit Internex.com today and take control of your digital life. That's INTERNXT.com today.
Apollo Neuro is a new kind of wearable that helps your body recover from stress. It's like a wearable hug for your nervous system that helps you calm down and feel better. The Apollo wearable will send gentle vibrations to your body, like a song you can feel instead of hear. You feel better, you sleep better, and you can get back to being yourself. Learn more at apolloneuro.com.
Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com. Elevate your experience with Grenco Science, the leaders in cutting-edge vaporizers. Whether you're at home or on the go, our sleek, powerful devices deliver smooth, consistent hits every time. Quality you can trust, innovation you can feel. Grenco Science, take your vapor game to the next level. Visit us at GrencoScience.com.
It all began with a simple idea, cutting handles off old ski sticks to create better pull-up bars. This sparked the creation of the revolutionary Engels 90 handles. After testing over 70 prototypes with 300 athletes, our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
All right, it's the Pete Sousa Show. It is fitting that I am very close to the city of Philadelphia as we are getting set to do our NFC East predictions today. Scotty and I are taking a look at the league, handicapping it a little bit for you. I'd like to think that this is a sweet spot of mine. Like I mentioned, if you're watching the show and I'm in the studio in Central Texas, I always have my Eagles helmet right there. Why wouldn't I? They're the Super Bowl champs. I mean, they beat the brakes off the Kansas City Chiefs last year. And the Chiefs were they 15-2? They were 15-2. And the Eagles beat them like they stole something in the Super Bowl. So we're going to talk right now about our predictions and who we like in the NFC. Scotty, I'm going to let me start off by just giving a basic Las Vegas window into what the thought process is heading into the season as far as the NFC East is concerned. Now, the Eagles are predicted to win the division. Over-under for the Eagles is 11.5 wins, okay? After that, the Commanders, who I'm a little surprised, right now over-under Vegas odds, 9.5 wins. Then the Cowboys, over-under 7.5 wins, and the Giants, bringing up the rear, 5.5 victories. So when you look at this stuff, there's always going to be in the NFL, there's going to be a team who didn't make the playoffs last year, who is surprisingly effective, and emerges onto the scene. And for me this year, that's the Cowboys. Now, I don't think that the Commanders as a team per se, skill-wise or personnel-wise, are going to take a big step back. But there's one individual who I think might take a step back, right? And that's the quarterback. That's Jalen Daniels. He had such an amazing rookie year. To duplicate it will be difficult. We'll find out if this guy, and if he does duplicate it, then we'll know he's special. I hate to throw back to this, and maybe I'm doing it because it's the same city, same team. And there was an injury involved with Robert Griffin, but there have been way more flash in the pan type players who had such exciting rookie seasons, second years, whatever, and then they disappear. Now, that's not what I'm saying Jalen Daniels is. What I'm saying is it is very hard to sustain the greatness we saw from him last year. Now, here's the good news. I will say the good news. You add Laramie Tunsil, right? That is a huge get as far as I'm concerned. You also add Deebo Samuel. That's another big get. You re-sign Terry McLaughlin, right? So around Daniels, the Redskins seem like they've almost gotten better. But I think that you will see him maybe have a regression this year. So that's why I have the Cowboys actually finishing above the there you go, right there. Finishing above the Redskins. Now, I got to say, it's funny, too. This is ironic. I opened up the Philadelphia Daily News today, okay? And I want you to see if you can read this headline, okay? Is it backwards? It's backwards. But I'll tell you what it says. 5 reasons the Birds will be even better by Marcus Hayes, okay? Marcus Hayes talks about, and I agree totally, this is the huge reason for the Eagles. Their offensive line, this is quite possibly the best unit the organization has ever had in the history of the Philadelphia Eagles. It's that good. It rivals some of the defensive lines that Buddy Ryan had out there with Reggie White. Jalen Hurts is grossly underrated. He is, Sal Paolantonio, I heard him say this morning, he is the most difficult quarterback in the NFL to defend. And then their defense, Saquon Barkley, right? The defense has gotten better this offseason. And you've got pass catchers. You've got A.J. Smith. You got A.J. Brown, excuse me, Devontae Smith, right? It's the Eagles are everything they return, right? And it's not, and here's my point about Hurts, and this is where it goes opposite of what I was talking about Jalen Daniels. Like, Jalen Hurts has been at this for a while, right? Like, to the point where he's been shut down all the way back to Alabama, right? Takes it on the chin. He bounces back, right? Goes to Oklahoma, almost wins the Heisman. Gets the Eagles, right? This guy can't do it. This guy. When the Eagles picked him on draft night that COVID year in 2020, it was like, okay, we got ourselves like a slash guy. Like, seriously, that was the thought. So he overcomes that, becomes a starter. So he has shown the ability to work through setbacks that even if he were to experience one this year, I have no doubt that young man finds a way and figures it out. So the Eagles, I feel very good about this year. And I really feel good about them going over those 11.5 wins. All right, go ahead. The floor is yours. The Giants suck, by the way.
Oh, boy. Where do I begin?
I mean, let me just, while you're thinking about beginning, the Giants, Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, or Jackson Dart will be your starter. And you got Malik Neighbors. Okay, that's great. Your offensive line is continuing to come together, let's hope. But yeah, and defensively they're pretty good. But
no, I think the most uncontroversial opinion is that the Giants will finish last again. I think no matter who's playing that quarterback position, that's likely. Pete, and here's the other area I very much agree with you, and then I'll tell you where I could not disagree with you more strongly. The Eagles got better. The Eagles won the Super Bowl, and I think they are a better team now than they were. They returned everything they needed, and I think they drafted very well. I agree with what you're saying about Jalen Hurts. I don't think he's the toughest player to defend at the quarterback position. That would be one Lamar Jackson, I would imagine. Perhaps Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. I think all those guys are pretty tough to defend.
But you know what's funny? Just real quick, because I heard Vinny Serrato on Sirius Radio, the former Redskins general manager, when they were the Redskins, Washington GM. He was in the 49ers front office too. He talked about how the Ravens have the best roster in football, and Lamar Jackson
Eagles do.
Huh? He said the Ravens.
Who's playing wide receiver for the Ravens?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
Exactly. Zay Flowers is the answer, but that receiving core doesn't touch the Eagles.
All right, so hold on.
That defensive front doesn't touch the Eagles.
I'm telling you what Vinny Serrato said, okay?
And I disagree with him.
You disagree with Vinny Serrato. Anyways, he was saying that the Ravens have the best roster in football. Now, if he's wrong or if he's off, they're certainly up there, right? So why do the Eagles have a quarterback who has played in 2 Super Bowls and won 1, okay? And Lamar Jackson, the hardest guy to defend in the world.
Listen, I will be the first guy to say Lamar has underperformed expectations. Jalen Hurts has exceeded them. And I think Jalen Hurts is squarely at this point number 5 quarterback in the NFL. And I can't stand these lists that have him 10, 11. Yeah. Like the dude has proven in high school, college, and the pros now, he wins football games. And football is not about what you look like while you do it, Pete, right? It's about getting it done and winning it's about winning the football games. That's why Tom Brady and now Pat Mahomes are considered the 2 GOATs, is because they have won and won and won and won, with the exception of when Jalen Hurts just beat Pat Mahomes pretty soundly in the Super Bowl. So I agree with you. The Eagles got better. I agree with you. The Eagles will do very well. They will easily make the playoffs. They should be a Super Bowl favorite. Here's where I could not disagree with you more strongly. You know who really also got better? The Washington Commanders. They got better.
They did. I talked about that.
And I want to correct you gently, but you said it twice. It's Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia. It's Jalen Daniels at Kansas. It's Jaden Daniels.
I always get that screwed up.
Won the Heisman Trophy at LSU. And won Rookie of the Year last season for the Commanders, and I think is the 6th best quarterback.
Then I get to let me start over again. I thought the kid from Kansas was their quarterback. This makes it so different for me now. Go ahead.
Jaden Daniels is incredible, and I like to think I'm a guy that covers sports that has bold takes, and I'll tell you when I'm right, but I'll tell you when I'm wrong. I thought Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels would both struggle. I thought they would both struggle as rookies. Caleb Williams did. Jaden Daniels did not.
No.
Jaden Daniels looked like a 5-year veteran as a rookie. And I personally think Dan Quinn, and I'm speaking as a hurt Cowboys fan in this also, might be the most underrated head coach in the NFL. Like, I think he's really, really good. So Commanders got better. I believe in your head coach. I think by the end of the season, we might say you have the best quarterback in the division. All due respect to Jalen Hurts. I think Washington wins this division. And furthermore, the area I disagree with you the strongest, I would take the under on that Cowboys number. I would take the under. I do not think Dak plays the full season. I think even if he does, he's not.
There
very
goes
good.
Joe Milton.
I'm all, dude. If the more games Joe Milton plays, the Cowboys might win a few of them. Okay, Pete. That's how I feel. But the Cowboys are not gonna. I would hit that under all day long. This is gonna be a bad season in Dallas. And part of it is because I think those two teams above them in this division are that good. I think these might be 2 of the 3 best teams in the NFC. I just don't think the Cowboys are at that level.
So and honestly, to what you're saying, that could be a built-in 4 losses right there.
And we walked through, I don't have the graphic ready for today, but we did it a month or 2 ago. We walked through the Cowboys schedule. The Cowboys have one of the most difficult schedules in the NFL this season. There are not a lot of given wins on that schedule. There might be like 4 givens. And then you're really going to have to upset some people if you're going to win 10, 11 games. And I just don't see them able to. So I've got Washington winning it, Philadelphia second. It wouldn't surprise me if either of those is flipped. I agree with you. Every year there's a team that jumps from 0 to playoff. I don't think it's the Giants, and I don't think it's the Cowboys.
Okay. You came prepared today. There's one thing I want to show you guys. Just so you know that we haven't lost our vigor here in Philadelphia. First of all, I got 2 papers today, right? I got the New York Post, and then I showed you guys the Daily News. But look at this. So Gary Barbera, right? Gary Barbera is a car dealership, and they have an advertisement at the bottom of the Daily News, and look what it says. DallasStillSucks.com.
I love it.
We like if you think we've lost our hunger here, no.
Listen, the bottom line is Philadelphia and Dallas is my favorite rivalry in the NFL, and Dallas has had all the legs to stand on until recently. And now Philadelphia has 2 Super Bowl trophies, and they're going to be coming hard for a 3rd. So I mean, this is really about to get, because that's the only thing the Cowboys have on the Eagles at this point. It's not current roster. It's not recent success. It's nothing except, we have 5 Super Bowls. But as Philadelphia starts to approach that, woo-wee, Pete, it could get feisty.
Hey, so answer this.
Jaden Daniels is no Dak Prescott? What do you mean? What do you want me to answer?
Like he like.
So are we comparing him like Dak had a good rookie year and Jaden Daniels? It's a very simple difference between those 2 guys. Okay, Dak Prescott was a 4th-round pick who played way better than his projection when he came out of college, and I've said that about him all along. I don't think he's elite, but he has exceeded all expectations when he was drafted out of Mississippi State. Jaden Daniels is a Heisman Trophy winner who had to follow Joe Burrow, by the way, and win that Heisman Trophy. Jaden Daniels had a better rookie year than Dak Prescott did. Dak Prescott had that rookie year largely because the runner-up for Rookie of the Year was in the backfield with him, Ezekiel Elliott. Jaden Daniels was the engine of that offense last season. So I think Jaden Daniels is much better than Dak Prescott. I think the Robert Griffin comp is a little better. The difference, of course, being Robert Griffin had a horrible injury during his rookie year, which was not his first horrible injury. He had one at Baylor as well. Jaden Daniels, I hope and pray, doesn't struggle with that. And here's the comp that I'd be interested in, Pete. I think the closest thing to Jaden Daniels, if he does regress, is C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud had a really, really outstanding rookie season in Houston, really regressed this past season for various reasons. O-line struggled. There were receiver injuries. There were a few things that went on in Houston last season. But now it's like, who is C.J. Stroud? We're going to find out in year 3. But I don't think Jaden Daniels goes that route. I think Jaden Daniels goes more the like Josh Allen Mahomes route, where it's like, oh crap, this guy's good. And then the next year it's like, oh crap, like, yeah, he's really good. Like
the only thing about Jaden Daniels, which is scary, and like, I hate to be the guy, but you know, he's vulnerable, man. He's outside of the pocket a lot. Obviously, he's not a big guy. And you know, I know that my friends who are hardcore Commanders fans who have a lot of skin in the game, like they get freaked out every time he leaves the pocket, right?
Sure, but there's for every, you know, there's Robert Griffin and there's Lamar Jackson. Like Lamar Jackson is also not a very big player, and arguably outside of maybe Michael Vick or Cam Newton, like we've never seen a quarterback that relies so much on getting outside the pocket as Lamar Jackson, and he has stayed healthy. He's held up. So I think there's ways you can protect yourself. That's what Griffin was not good at. There's ways you can protect yourself, and they can continue scheming to protect him. But that's part of why he's so lethal, Pete. Like, he is an outstanding athlete, you know?
Absolutely. All right, one more block left, Scotty. You got that in you?
I'm ready, Pete. Are you ready?
Yeah, I got a couple of news and notes. We're going to talk Caitlin Clark real quick. We are going to talk about Coach Prime, his health. And a former Big 12 basketball player, had a pretty interesting experience at Summer League. We'll tap into that quick, and then we'll hit the bricks, because I got to take Mom to a doctor's appointment here. We're going all the way to Thorndale. If you know anything about where I live, we're in Villanova. It's a hike. I'm a good kid. I'm a great son. Pete Sousa Show, presented by Savatrix. We'll be back.
Overwhelmed by your inbox? Clean Email is here to help. Organize, clean, and manage your emails with powerful automation tools. Say goodbye to spam and clutter and enjoy a stress-free inbox. Try Clean Email today at cleanemail.com. That's CLEAN email.com. Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Combine that with OrganicHemp.com's top quality CBD for ultimate balance. Start your healing journey today at GlobalHealing.com and OrganicHemp.com. Unlock a world of convenience with Mully Box, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. Each box is tailored to your taste. Experience the joy of surprises. Subscribe today at mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com. At Toussaint's, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Committed to excellence, we adopt a user-centric approach guided by ergonomics and medical science. With a team of seasoned professionals in R&D, design, and manufacturing, we prioritize quality across our entire product line. Visit Toussaint's.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com. BizChair.com. Your one-stop shop for premium commercial furniture that blends quality with affordability. From ergonomic office chairs to durable restaurant seating, we cater to diverse industries including corporate, medical, hospitality, and education. With over 20 years of experience, we offer fast shipping, exceptional customer support, and furniture solutions that stand up to high-traffic environment. Elevate your space with BizChair's vast selection of stylish, reliable, and cost-effective furniture. Visit us today at BizChair.com to transform your business. At Mitzi, we believe the right light can transform any space. Born from a third-generation lighting family, we craft beautifully designed, premium lighting that's made to be affordable. Inspired by Grandma Mitzi's eclectic style, we're on a mission to make high-quality lighting accessible to all. Whether you're updating your space or adding a unique fixture, Mitzi has the perfect design for you. Beautiful, well-made lighting without the high price tag. Discover your perfect light at Mitzi.com. That's MITZI.com. Mitzi. Founded in 1910, Samsonite is the world leader in durable, high-quality luggage and travel accessories. Made to the highest standards, our products won't let you down. We give you the confidence to get out there and explore. Inspired by the past, devoted to the present, and built to inspire a multi-generational future, Samsonite is here to elevate your journey. Travel with Samsonite and pack confidence every step of the way. Shop now at shop.samsonite.com. The grinder mentality that Randy and Brent Habert built into 44 Pro runs deep within our team. Every member shares a passion for the craft, the game, and most importantly, the player. When you step onto the field with a 44 Pro custom glove, you'll feel the difference. It's not just a glove, it's a 44 Pro. Crafted with dedication, made for performance, and built to last. Get your custom glove today at 44pro.com and experience the 44 Pro difference. That's 44pro.com, 44 Pro. Welcome to Kit Bag, the ultimate destination for football fans. Whether you're cheering for Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, or any other top club, we've got your team's colors running through our veins. From official replica kits to custom player prints of your favorite stars like Ronaldo, Messi, and Kane, Kit Bag is your one-stop shop for all things football. Powered by Fanatics, we deliver to over 180 countries, ensuring you get the gear you need fast. For true football passion, think Kit Bag. Visit kitbag.com today. That's kitbag.com. Kit Bag.
All right, a couple news and notes. We like to call them nuggets. Let's get to before we go. Let's talk to you guys first, though. Scotty B, the Baylor King, weighs in. Baylor men's basketball, representing the United States of America, is going to play tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. against Finland. That's 10:30 a.m. Central Time. I've been following these guys. Like, I kind of feel left out. Like, J-Mo's over there, John Morris, Ashley Hodge is over there, like knee slapping, having a blast with Scott Drew. It is really cool to see some of our folks from our family of announcers and broadcasters and insiders here, whatever you want to call them, in Central Texas, make the trip over there. And if you've been watching the highlights at all, this dude, Cameron Carr, the transfer from Tennessee, has been really impressive, which is like super exciting because that's a guy, honestly, I didn't have on my radar because I'm an idiot or because the roster turned over so quickly. But like as we start to look at Baylor and what they have next year going into the Big 12, that's going to be pretty cool. Cameron Carr he's exciting, man. Just go online and see if you can watch some of the highlights. Another thing we have here, yes, the Big 12 turned down Memphis. One of the reasons I heard, I actually had a long talk Friday and yesterday with the Big 12, with the conference, because we're doing that show inside the 12 again. And our first episode is going to be like an hour long. You can find it all. Inside the 12 covers the Big 12 football and basketball like you won't find anywhere else. We preview every game. We have celebrities on, celebrity picks. We get into the details. There's a quarterback who's going to be joining me doing the show this year. I can't tell you who it is, but the guy is surgical, and he's a guy you're going to know. So I'm excited about that because the Big 12 has an amazing quarterback class, right? But so I've been talking with people from the Big 12 for a while now, and just recently, Friday, Monday, and the Memphis thing came up, and apparently, and this isn't from anybody directly at the Big 12, but some feelers and some input that I received back was that, Memphis, every time they have a great year, they turn around and they're in trouble. They're getting investigated. And there was a little bit of that. And so no Memphis Tigers didn't take long. I give Brett Yormark props. And look, man, Memphis is probably one of the best non-power forward teams in the country this year. Memphis is good football-wise. And basketball, of course, with Penny Hardaway, they're nobody you want to see on your schedule. So that was like an interesting no, right? And then we got one more. Here we go. Yeah, my mom is still playing Words with Friends with the Pope. This is not a lie. This is true. I don't know if this were to get out that the Pope will get in trouble, because I heard rumors that they may take his phone away. If my mom hears me talking about this, she's going to be pissed. If this is the first time you're watching, the Pope went to Villanova. My mom worked at Villanova for decades. And so they crossed over when he would come back to the school to visit with some of the Augustinian priests. Then my mom takes a trip over to Rome. I feel like she might be coming. My mom took a trip over to Rome where one of her best friends, Father Joe Farrell, is over there. And this was like 3 years ago. So, of course, Prevost, the Pope, was over there then. So, they're kind of buddies. And, Words with Friends doesn't mean you're playing with your blood brother. You can play with anybody, but she plays with the Pope, and he's still playing. Go ahead, Pope. I feel like he's found his footing. He's kind of getting back to, normal life, as normal as his life can be. So there's your Words with Friends update. All right, one more update. Caitlin Clark will not play tonight. She's still out. Fever coach Stephanie White said they're going to have her see some more doctors. Their game tonight is on the road against WNBA reigning champion, the Liberty, this will be the 13th game she misses this season. And the second time she doesn't play against the Liberty, which means she won't play this year against the reigning champs unless they meet in the playoffs. I really am erring on the side of, like, I don't know enough about this, but like shutting Caitlin Clark down might not be the worst move for the Fever. I know people have talked about it. I know, Michael Jordan, second year, shut him down. The way that he was being defended, surprise, surprise, much like Caitlin Clark, broke him down, and he got hurt, missed, I think, like you could say 75% of his second season. I can speak from my own experience. Emeka Okafor with the Charlotte Bobcats, when I was working for them, he won the Rookie of the Year. I mean, every night, just a walking double-double and getting his ass kicked. He wasn't, Emeka Okafor wasn't huge. Early the next season, boom, sideline, missed the rest of his second year. Like these second-year deals for people, for players, especially of great magnitude, when there's a lot of focus on them, they can suffer physically and mentally. And I think Caitlin Clark's dealing with both. So we're going to find out what's going to go on. Obviously, she's nobody that's going to roll over. If she can play, they're going to put her out there. She's a money machine. But my spidey sense says it might be time to shut her down. And the last thing, Deion Sanders, man, just like prayers up for Coach Prime. Yesterday, he made an announcement, and I want to read it to you. Let me see here. Scotty sent me a text. Oh, okay. It's a funny text. I'll read it later. So let's get to Coach Prime here. Okay. So this is a quote yesterday. This was in Sports Illustrated. I'm still going through something, Sanders said. I ain't all the way recovered. This was on a video he put up with his daughter. Later in the video, Sanders shared moments just after engaging in admirable physical activity. He's taken tennis lessons, took a 1.5 mile run walk. So he's out there, he's moving around. But he said he's proud of himself and what he's doing to get back. But at the end of this, Sports Illustrated goes on and says, hey, Sanders' undisclosed health issue has caused him to miss several team-related events throughout the summer. He wasn't on campus for a myriad of recruiting visits in June, as well as the Buffalo's summer workouts and Colorado's youth football camps. For me personally, watching him at Big 12 Media Days, he didn't pass the Coach Prime eye test. Like, and what I mean by that is, like, Coach Prime is electric, and he's kind of like a superhero. And he didn't seem like he had quite all of his superpowers at Big 12 Media Days. So we'll be thinking about Coach Prime. I really hope nothing keeps that guy. I don't think anything could off the field this year, because he's just amazing for college football. All right, that'll do it for us today. I'm headed to New York tonight. We're going to work with the Strength in Numbers camp tomorrow. My man, John Tobias. Strength in Numbers is an opportunity to get underrepresented kids, minorities into sports. And tomorrow, John Tobias is taking a bunch of young kids who want to get into sports, who are minorities, to the NBA's headquarters, and then to the NFL's headquarters. And then they'll have panels at both of those places where people that look like them talk to them about how they got into professional sports. And then the next day, I'm going to talk to them about play-by-play. I'm working for ESPN. And they'll probably be disappointed. But what can you say? The Pete Sousa Show will be back tomorrow in some way, shape, or form. We'll see you.
It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference, because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at 70 miles an hour. I was injured, had a concussion. The insurance company, they delayed. They were playing games from the initial conversation. They weren't going to help me. The biggest thing I learned through this is that you can't go through this alone. I called Daniel Stark. They were going to help me, and everything was going to be all right. Daniel Stark got me 10 times the insurance company offered.
The difference is stark.
We are Rogue Media Sports.